Sometimes you just want to be there to witness greatness. And that's exactly what happened with Serbia having to come back from a 20-point deficit to a game in which Josh Giddey and Patty Mills could not miss. Australia starting off 13-17 from the field, but it didn't matter. The best player in the world puts the pedal to the metal and gets the job done. And then Canada, Jamal Murray, an early exit, no medal. Let's talk about Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, Olympics, right now. Locked On Nuggets.
You are Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome into Locked On Nuggets. This is your host, Swiper. This is your team every day. Shout out to y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here. Tapping in early. Already got people live here in the chat. But look, this has been a spectacular day. Before we get started, y'all, today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Y'all, this was a spectacular day of basketball. Whatever you were looking for from both of these games in highly competitive, defensively oriented, shot making, play making, rebounding, hustle, this was the place to be. I'm trying to tell y'all, that game, Serbia versus Australia, I'm going to be 100 with y'all. I went into the game. I believed that Serbia was going to get the victory. But at one point in time, in the first quarter, in the second quarter, I absolutely thought that Serbia was cooked. I thought they were cooked. If you just looked at that first half, I mean, literally, they couldn't buy a bucket, Serbia couldn't, and Australia could not miss. They literally couldn't miss. As I said in the opening, they started the game off 13-17 from the field. 13-17 from the field. And, y'all, the game was close. At one point, it was 13-14, looked like it was about to be a game, and then literally all of a sudden, Jokic exits the game. They already had a lead, and it got bad. I want y'all to hear this. Jokic makes a layup, 17 points for Serbia. This is with 2 minutes and 36 seconds left in the first quarter. This is a 17-19 score. Next thing you know, it's 17-21, 17-23, 17-26, 17-29, 17-30, 17-31. And the first quarter ends. Literally, Serbia didn't score a bucket. It was looking like it was about to be a blowout, an absolute blowout. And then you get into the second quarter. Again, y'all, pay attention to this. The second quarter, you get 10 minutes. 10 minutes at the start of each quarter. At the start of the second quarter, it was 17-33, 17-35, 17-37, 17-39. They literally went on a 20-0 run without having any makes from Serbia. Australia literally could not miss. Again, Patty Mills and Josh Giddey, they were both really special today. Really special. And again, the score got really bad. At one point in time, the score was 24-46. It was 24-46, and it looked like they were about to be cooked. It got as bad as 20-40. Serbia had no life. They couldn't make a bucket. Their guard couldn't stay in front of anybody. They couldn't defend inside. They weren't securing the rebounds. You name it, it was happening. And then basically, y'all, from that point on, when it was 20-44, Serbia went and they scored 75 points. 75 points while holding Australia to 46. To 46, rather. 46 points. Their defense turned up, the intensity turned up, the rebounding turned up, all of it. And what was so great about this game is that this was a game where Jokic played 39 minutes, and it was from start to finish. He was absolutely dominant. There was a stretch of this game, y'all, where Jokic literally in the fourth quarter and overtime, he just looked like a different level of basketball player relative to his peers. a different level of basketball player relative to his peers, because it's just simple fact of the matter is on both ends today, when he needed to get a bucket, he got a bucket. When he needed to get a stop, he got a stop. And because in the fourth quarter, the way that things kind of rolled out, shout out Leor on Twitter, basically down the stretch of the game with 90 seconds in a 90-second time frame, Jokic got a block. Jokic knocked a layup off the rim. He got a block on Josh Giddey. He knocked Patty Mills' layup off the rim. Jokic got a steal on Patty Mills. Jokic hit a jump hook in traffic take a 1-point lead, and then Jokic had a Sombor shuffle with like 30 seconds left in the game to put him up 3. So literally, Jokic on both ends of the court locked in and literally led Serbia in every way imaginable. He ends up today with 21 points, 14 rebounds, 8 assists, and 4 steals and a block. 4 steals and a block. And the thing is that Joker started the game off 5 of 7, but he wasn't being super aggressive as a scorer. And a lot of that was just because the game script, he was allowing for other people to take a shot. We're going to talk about more of kind of Serbia's decision-making, because Jokic, there was literally a point in the fourth quarter where Jokic didn't get the ball and they didn't score for basically 5 straight possessions. And it made no sense because Serbia's actions, when they're going to him, they were getting basically whatever they wanted. Bogey played decent today, had 17 points and 6 assists and 5 rebounds. He was 6 of 17 from the field, but he was 3 of 8 from 3. That's pretty good. And then he was 2 of 2 from the free throw line. And then, they had some players that came off the bench today that made a world of a difference, and including Guterich. So Guterich today had 18 minutes played. He was 5 of 10 from the field. Now, he was just 1 of 6 from 3, so, 4 of 4 from 2. That's a good day. He had 11 points off the bench, 5 rebounds, and an assist. And in his minutes, he was just so good because he allowed for Serbia to have a little bit more size, a little bit more athleticism on the unit. Now, Jovic did not touch the field today. I don't know exactly what the call was with that, but he didn't see any time today. And Jokic, Bogey, Aleska, they all had different moments down the stretch of the quarter. And again, this was one of the biggest deficits overcome in Olympic basketball history. And really the momentum that you saw them start to get. Like I said, they ended up getting down 20-44, but they did not allow that to stop them from progressing. And I really thought they were cooked after a while because, again, when the team is shooting that well and they look like they have that kind of athletic advantage on you, it's really hard to get back into the game to be able to make the plays you need to make. And again, y'all, if you look at the box score, Patty Mills, 26 points, 3 rebounds, 2 steals. He was 11 of 21 from the field and 2 of 5 from 3. But including the best bucket of the day, for Patty Mills was the game-tying shot over Nikola Jokic's outstretched arms. I mean, Patty Mills, multiple times today, he just made plays that remind you and remind the viewer that this is a special player at this level. In the NBA, Patty Mills is a role player. He doesn't have a lot of things he does super well because, again, he's a shorter player. He's small. He doesn't have like some maybe natural size and athleticism. And so that can hamper him a little bit as a basketball player. But you get to this level, him coming off of screens, him being able to utilize his quickness in so many ways. And the fact of the matter is, when he's trying to attack a defense, man, he's just so smart. And because he's so smart, because he's so quick, he is just able to force the defense to constantly be on its toes. And he did that throughout the day today. I mean, Patty Mills was great. And again, also, I want to shout out Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey was really good today. Josh Giddey in this game, 25 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. Now, he did have 7 turnovers. Patty Mills had 4 turnovers today, but he had 25 points, 4 assists, and 5 rebounds. And in those minutes, he was 11 of 20 from the field, and he was 3 of 5 from 3. And again, he made some really crucial 3-point shots himself today. So there's definitely some things, like 1,000%, that Australia did well. And there are some things that they're going to have to clean up on the Serbia side, especially defensively, as they're hoping to want to advance. But, man, I'm telling you right now, man, like, it was just such a great basketball game. And really, truly, if you enjoy high-level basketball, if you enjoy having to make high-level plays defensively and offensively, this was the game that you wanted to watch. And, again, Jokic spearheaded it. When we come back on the other side, we're going to talk a little bit more about this Serbia game and what they did today. But we're going to talk about Jamal Murray in Canada, because there are some things that are happening with Jamal Murray. Now, Canada being out of the tournament, obviously, there's some questions that are being asked. But we'll talk about all that on the other side here on Locked On Nuggets. Y'all, now, if you're into concerts, if you're into events, if you're into MLB baseball, this is the place to be, y'all. Gametime allows for you to save up to 60% off by buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. You can save even more with exclusive in-app deals on select seats ahead of the game or the event. Literally, you can get last-minute tickets with flash deals and zone deals, and it's really easy to find access to the things you want to see. Again, if you go into the app, you can see the seat you're going to look from. You can see from that vantage point how close you are to the action, and then you can find the best price possible. So, y'all, take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNBA, LOCKEDON NBA for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Y'all, we'll be right back for more here on Locked On Nuggets. Y'all, we are back here for segment 2 on Locked On Nuggets. This is your host, Swiper. This is your team every day. If you're on the YouTube side, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. That way we can continue to build up this great community. Wanting to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of this next season on the Locked On channel. And then if you're listening to this via audio, if you're on Apple iTunes, give us a 5-star review. That way more and more people can listen to the great content here at Locked On with myself, Adam, and Matt. Y'all, let's get it. So Canada, they struggle and they lose. Canada couldn't make enough plays. Canada couldn't hit enough shots, and they could not secure enough rebounds, y'all. And you want to know what the biggest difference in this game was today? Listen to this. And this is a product of some of this is Canada being a little bit over-aggressive with the fouling, but on the other end, France was working on the boards. France shot 42 free throws in 40 minutes of basketball today. 42 free throws in 40 minutes of basketball. They made 33. They were 78.6% from the free throw line. Now, Canada, they went to the line 25 times. They made 18 for 72%. But listen to this. France, 9 of 28 from 3. 9 of 28 from 3. Cornier was 4 of 5 from 3. Yabusele was 2 of 4 from 3. But they shot better from the three-point line and the free throw line. And the difference in the game was 9 points. And then if you look at this, for Canada, they were 5 of 21 from the three-point line. 5 of 21 from the three-point line. Jamal Murray comes off the bench, 24 minutes played, y'all. 24 minutes played. He had the fourth highest minutes, tied for the fourth highest minutes. Well, really tied for the third highest minutes on the team with Dwight Powell. But he was 3 of 13 from the field. He had 7 points, and he had 0 assists today. He did have 5 rebounds, and he had 3 turnovers. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, on the other end, he did the best he could. He played 37 minutes. He was 9 of 19 from the field, 27 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. But ultimately, and then he missed 2 free throws in the clutch, really 3 free throws in the clutch. But I think a lot of that had to do with fatigue, y'all. But Jamal Murray ends this run in the Olympics with a lot of conversation around him as a whole. Conversations around his game, conversations around his effectiveness, conversations around if this is the kind of play that people can expect from him going into next year. Jamal Murray, 6 points per game in the Olympics, 29% from the field in the Olympics, 14.3% from three in the Olympics. And then you couple that with the fact that the last time we saw Jamal Murray in NBA basketball, he averaged 18 points a game and shot below 40% from three, from the field. Then this is why people are so down on Jamal right now. And again, Jamal, I think it's the second best Canadian player in the world. But when you put up performances like this, and again, I think some of this is due to injury. He obviously is still trying to manage his body and everything else. And Jamal Murray is going to get rest. He basically is going to get 2 months to prep his body, to prep his mind, and to get ready for this upcoming season. But as of right now, Jamal Murray, his reputation is it's the complete opposite of what it was last summer. After last summer, when he averaged 26, 5, and 7 and shot 48, 39, 93 splits over the course of a 20-game playoff run that led to an NBA Finals appearance and win, Jamal Murray, the 1 year later, is in a place where people are wondering if the best thing the Nuggets can do is to trade him for a more viable player that could better help and assist Nikola Jokic over the course of a season. And again, I think that's just too far. I am of the mindset that Jamal Murray has to play better, but he knows that. Everyone knows that. You can't have your second best player in the Olympics not be able to hit shots. And again, truthfully, he's their best shot maker on Canada, and he didn't do it. They needed shooting. He couldn't hit shots. They needed his pull-up jumpers. He couldn't hit those shots. They needed his playmaking. He should have been able to do that better. There were several things he just quite simply didn't do. And because his game is so predicated on making shots and making jumpers and being able to snake and run pick and roll and again, hit open three-pointers, hit contested three-pointers, for him not to be able to do those things, it lowers his value across the board. 29% from the field and 14% from three. It doesn't matter who you are. You do that at that level, then you're going to have your name dragged through the mud. But I do think there has to be a little bit of context around Jamal Murray because, again, I don't want to go so far as to say that he's damaged goods and that you can't do anything with him because that's just not where I think he is. He's 27 years old, dealing with nagging stuff that's been kind of laboring him since May in the course of the regular season when he missed 23 regular season games. But Jamal has to be better. It's as simple as that. And I think if you were to have an honest conversation with the front office, I think that there will be conversations around his contract. He will likely have a contract done and signed this offseason, but this just doesn't give you the comfort and the peace that you were looking for in order for you to give Jamal Murray a long-term deal and for you to feel completely comfortable with it. Because as of right now, he just doesn't look like he has the body or even the game to be able to justify that. But again, you're paying players based on what they've done and what you project them to do. Again, Jamal Murray, regular season last year, 21 points, 4 rebounds, 6.5 assists, 48% or 51% from two, 42% from three, 85% from the free throw line. That's a great player. That's a really good player, near all-star level. But I do think that it's going to be imperative on Jamal that you're making sure you're taking care of your body, which simply means rehabbing if you need to, working out, and then you get into the season and being able to start off strong. That way you don't have to work your way in. Because, again, you got 2 months off now at this point. And everybody's kind of looking at Jokic right now. You know, he's the consensus best player in the world and I would say like a majority of people, and especially after games like today, you know, 21, 14, and 8, and the playmaking and the defense and the scoring and the ball control, the post control, the passing, the gravity, all of that stuff. But on the other end of this, Joker is going to need Jamal to be able to carry more of the load just because that's just kind of where things are at this point in their career. You know, Jokic is 29. You know, he's at his apex for sure, 1,000%, but you also want to try to keep Joker fresh and ready for the playoffs and for the grind that is inevitably to come. And so a lot of that's going to come on to Jamal Murray. Can you make sure you're taking that leap as an overall player? And then Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, you know, this is all going to be, everybody has to buy in, from Christian Brown to Peyton Watson to Julian Strother Trey Alexander, Jalen Pickett, Hunter Tyson, whoever's on the roster, whoever's taking up the minutes, you have to be able to respond to that accordingly. So, we're going to find out, man. But on the other side, Serbia is in a really interesting scenario because they're on the same side as the U.S. In their Olympic bracket. But, hey, could this be the year that Serbia is able to take down the U.S. and win gold? We're going to talk about all that and more here. Locked On Nuggets. Passion, drive, and patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guarantee Fit. Only available to U.S. customers. We'll be right back for more here at Locked On Nuggets. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the final segment here of Locked On Nuggets. This is your host, Swiper. We saw Nikola Jokic put up an absolutely dominant performance versus Australia in a game they were down 40-21 in the second quarter, and yet they come back and win by 5 points. By 5 points. Wow. Incredible swing. 25-point swing from the 40 to, or the 20 to 44 point. And so can Serbia take care of business and beat the United States? So Serbia has advanced. They're going to play the winner of the United States-Brazil game. And if you look at the current score as the game is going on, the U.S. is going to handle Brazil. Handle Brazil. And again, I also heard this too, that being down 24 points is the biggest Olympics comeback or biggest comeback in Olympic history. But, I cannot confirm that, but that feels about right because I cannot remember off the top of my head a team ever doing anything like that. But where we are currently is the USA men's team is going to be playing in the semifinals versus Serbia. And we have just seen that when Jokic has not been on the court, they have quite simply not been able to put up enough of a fight to make it a compelling matchup. Now, Serbia, on its advantages, is they're going to come out similar to Greece and Germany, is because they're the inferior team talent-wise, you can come out with poise. You can come out with work, and you could basically be flying around all over the place. So what I would say is, I think that for Serbia to be able to win this game, they're going to have to be the team that plays harder. They're going to have to be the team that turns the ball over less. And y'all, they have to hit their three-point shots. Like, if you're telling me Serbia, first half, 40% from three, they've gotten up, let's say 15 or so. So let's say they're 7 of 15 from three. Jokic is dominating the boards, and Guterres is dominating. He's hitting a couple shots. Micic is playing well. Bogey's playing well, which, again, this is why this is going to be quite the big of an ask. But what you can say is that, okay, well, we have, built up enough for finding solutions offensively to the fact that they're going to have Drew Holiday, Derek White, Anthony Edwards, Jason Tatum. They're going to have Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, and Bam Adebayo. And those are their main defenders on this roster. So, okay, how do we create enough leverages in our direction, either through some of the off-ball movements that we're doing, the on-ball movements that we're doing, and that way we can get people secure and we can make sure that we're building up the best possible offensive package versus this team. Because that's the thing. Serbia has proven that they can get stops when they need to. Now, doing this versus Derek White and Steph Curry and Devin Booker and Anthony Edwards and Kevin Durant and LeBron James, that's another story. But they have proven that when they needed to get stops, they can. But when they get these stops, are they able to convert these into enough buckets? And I'm not going to lie to y'all. I mean, unless it's like Jokic with a minute left in the first quarter, a minute left in the second quarter, I'm more than likely not taking Jokic out. I'm probably not going to do it. So obviously, you want to make sure that you're giving him pockets of rest here and there. But if you want to win this game and they're intent on setting the tone of the game, they want to dominate on the inside, they want to dominate the glass, Jokic is going to have to basically be like a one-man army out there. And again, he's going to have to involve everyone else as he always does. But, just at where we are currently, it's just going to take like a superhuman level of effort for him to do this. Now, again, if he does it, then I think Serbia can beat whoever in the gold medal game. Whoever. It doesn't matter who it is. But the problem is are they just going to be able to create enough? Because Germany and France are their own issues altogether, but the U.S. is the issue. And, the U.S. being able to look at LeBron James like in the clutch and in poise situations, collectively having all that talent, that's the problem. Because Serbia, a lot of their stuff, it's like offensive consistency in being able to continue to find ways to prove they have offensive consistency. And, we're going to find out, man, because Guterres is going to be huge this game. Milutinov is going to be massive this game. They're going to have another big besides Joker that can rebound. In this last game, 2 points, 1 rebound. Again, that's not going to be good enough versus them. Because Jokic's going to leave the game. You're going to have to make sure you're dominating the boards, at least securing the boards as much as possible. Micic off the bench, 4 of 8 from the field, 24 minutes played, 14 points, 6 assists, 1 steal, 3 turnovers. So again, Micic, really good playmaking, 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio was really good. But, and I would even consider like, all right, I want to get those off the boards altogether, because anytime you turn the ball over to the U.S., they're out running, because they're the most athletic team in the world. And I think Jokic needs to pace control, DHOs, post work, and Serbia has to move off ball, because what the U.S. isn't going to do, they're probably not going to double a whole lot. But again, some of that is just because like they don't need to. They have so many athletes, they have so many defenders. You just want to make sure you're not putting yourself at a disadvantage on the defensive end. But they're not going to do that, so you're going to have to basically deal with the fact that Jokic is going to have single coverage, but based on where you have him on the floor, in the post, cutting, moving backside. That way he can dime you with one of those bound passes around the side of the defender. If it's on the handoff, cutting down to the rim, having another action backside. If you're running like a nice little pin down and somebody's supposed to be flashing, make sure they're flashing. That's the kind of stuff that helps you to deal with Team USA, because you got to get them dislodged. Because if you have a team that's a superior athletic team, and they're also very smart, because, again, they're captained by Steve Kerr, multiple-time champion as a player and coach. And then on the other end of this, you're also going to be put out there in front of somebody who, again, that they're just not going to be as used to that level of aggression and physicality on the Serbia end, I think. And so you're just going to have to make sure, because remember, what also happened last game, y'all, when they got in transition, Serbia kept fouling because they just didn't have the horses. So slow the game down if I'm Serbia and play smart. Control the tempo, control the turnovers, find high leverage shots, don't play a lot of one-on-one ball, and that's how you kind of anchor that. The only person that should be playing one-on-one this game and consistently getting those looks if need be is Jokic, because he can cook Embiid, he can cook Bam, and he can cook AD. And if they bring weak side help, Jokic can get the ball where it needs to go and get it rotated, get it out, get it moving. But you don't need your guards isolating. But I will say, Bogey, you got to be a sniper. Guterres, you got to be a sniper. Micic hit a huge 3 this last game versus Australia. You don't have to do that consistently, but as you're snaking, can you find like a nice little pocket where you can hit that mid-range shot or that floater and get into the rim? Like, whatever you have to do, just utilize Joker. Utilize the spacing, utilize the gravity, and then the ability for him to be able to understand what needs to happen on a play-by-play basis. And Guduric, Bogey, Micic, all of them, Milutinov, come ready to play. Now, they can beat the U.S., but that's going to be a daunting task, and it's going to be up to them how good they're going to be. But can they win it all? Yes. They prove they got the grit to do it and the best player in the world. Now it's about consistency, it's about intelligence, and it's about controlling things, and we'll find out from here. But that's going to do it here for Locked On Nugget. This is your host, Swiper. Jokic and Serbia dominate, come back from a 24-point deficit, and Jamal Murray, 3 of 13 from the field. Canada goes home early, and y'all, we got more to talk about. This is your boy, Swiper. This is Locked On Nuggets. See y'all on the other side.